The Pepsodent Show, presenting A Date with Judy.
Hello?
Judy?
Why, hello.
Judy, I'd like to ask you for a date tonight. Of course, I don't have a big car like Ozzie Prindle, and I know I'm not as good looking as Ozzie Prindle, and I don't have as much money as Ozzie Prindle. But could I have a date anyhow?
Why, certainly, but can I ask you one question?
Sure, Judy.
How can I get in touch with Ozzie Prindle?
You've got a date with Judy, chaperoned by Pepsodent. But first, here's a 30-second beauty hint entitled How to Have a Gleaming, Bright Smile to Go with Your Summer Coat of Tan. Just go to work on your teeth with high-polish Pepsodent tooth powder. But be sure it's Pepsodent. For in competition with all other leading brands of tooth powder, Pepsodent was found to produce a higher shine, a more beautiful luster on teeth than any other. Twice as bright as the average of all other leading brands. So there you are. For a gleaming smile that's twice as bright, then go to your drug counter and say, Pepsodent tooth powder, please. Well, it's a nice sunshiny morning in the town Judy Foster lives in, and her 10-year-old brother Randolph, one of Judy's major problems, is strolling down Main Street with his sidekick Curly when they encounter one of those man-on-the-street radio interviewers.
Thank you very much, sir. And now, look who we have here, two little gentlemen. Won't you step right up, young man?
Sure, why not? Come on, Randolph.
May I have your names?
Tell him your name, Stinky. My name's Sylvester Whiteman. Everybody calls me Curly, though.
Except me. I call him Stinky.
And what is your name, my little man?
Randolph Foster. What's yours, my little man?
Well, that's sort of reversing the procedure a little. I'm smiling. Yes, smiling Ren Niles. The sidewalk interviewer. And I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Shoot.
Do you gentlemen go to school?
In the summertime, don't be a drip.
We're newspaper men.
Really? What newspaper?
It's the Tri-Monthly Tri-Boy Tribune. I'm editor-in-chief.
That's only because his father owns the mimeograph machine.
And what's your official position?
Me, I'm sports editor.
And society editor.
Do I have to get that society stuff?
You sure do.
But I don't want to. I'm the sports editor type.
You either get the society news or you're fired, Randolph.
Thank you very much. Oh, this is Smiling Red Niles, ladies and gentlemen. Your old sidewalk interviewer. Now, run along, boys.
There isn't any justice. Muse covers the He-Man versus Superman baseball game. Me, the sports editor deluxe.
Who's editor-in-chief of this outfit?
Now, Randolph, Stinky, please, we're on the air.
Who wants to be a society editor?
Just a minute, boys, just a minute.
The table was tastefully decorated in green and pews.
Oh, please.
Festoons of stinkweed made the nuptial bower a veritable garland. Boy.
Have been any phone calls for me this morning?
This morning, Judy? Do you mean to tell me you know anyone who gets up before noon during summer vacation?
I mean this date I had last night. He said he wouldn't sleep all night.
He promised, Judy?
Oh, he's utterly feverish about me. He said my eyelashes were luscious. He just said everything. Oh, he poured on the roses.
And now, just like any old lug, he sleeps all night through and doesn't call you in the morning. Man.
He said he was going to rush me every moment of the day and night. Mother, will you please stop sorting the dirty wash while I'm confiding in you? And here it is, 11:30. Don't you think he's an ick for not having phoned?
He's a villain.
Mother, I wish you wouldn't tear up Father's shorts into dish rags while I'm talking to you.
Oh, look at that. I don't know where that man gets so many holes in his underwear.
It's not from doing the rumba.
What?
This is Smiling Randolph Foster, your old society editor.
Why, Randolph.
Mother, have you been to any shindigs lately?
Shindigs, Randolph. What sort of shindigs?
Oh, society stuff. Weddings, teas, receptions, hen parties, anything you've got.
Randolph, I was talking to Mother.
Well, you don't have a monopoly. Mother, how about it? Haven't you been anyplace lately?
Well, one night last week your father and I went bowling, and one night we went to a weenie roast.
Socially, Mother, you're a total loss.
Well,
Well, if you hear of any social items, let me know.
I will, dear. Why don't you ask Mrs. Slutzhammer next door if she has any items? She always knows everything that goes on in this neighborhood.
Okay, but if you happen to be presented at court or anything before my deadline, let me in on it. Ho, 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 Mrs. Slutzhammer, this is Smiling Randolph Foster, your old society editor.
He's a dreadful drain on my vitality.
Oh, is he? I personally am very fond of him.
Oh, that's it. I'll answer it, Mother. It's my last night's date. I knew he wouldn't be able to sleep. Hello? Oh, hello. Yes, she is. Mother, it's for you.
Oh, for me? Is it a girl or a man? Or am I quoting you, dear?
It's a man.
Well, I hope it's a sugar puss. And not the garage mechanic telling me we need a new battery. Hello? Who? Sydney. Not Sydney Holland. Whatever are you doing in town after all these years? Why, Sydney. Oh, this is a surprise, hearing your voice again. But do you know I recognized it almost immediately? No, really I did. Why, how could I forget you? Your image is engraved indelibly upon my heart. Tell me what you're doing here.
Do you hear a clicking sound on the wire, Mother? It usually clicks when somebody's trying to get us.
Oh, how exciting. Of course I'm interested, Sidney. How could I help but be? I'll tell you what, Sidney, I won't say a word to my husband. The hotel? Today? Oh, Sidney, I'd adore it, but I've so many things to do. Well, all right, I'll just drop everything. I'll meet you there at 1 o'clock. Goodbye.
Who is that?
An old beau of mine. Turned out to be a sugar puss after all. Well, I've got to hurry and get these things together and go.
Where are you going?
I have a rendezvous. Your old mother has a rendezvous, Judy. Isn't that luscious?
Did you know him before you knew Father?
I did. He was utterly feverish about me. He didn't sleep all night for nights and nights.
Mother!
Well, you sound shocked, dear.
Well, I should think you'd have some loyalty for Father.
Oh, I do, of course. But I always say a sugar puss is a sugar puss.
Is he handsome?
Sidney? Oh, there's glamour written all over his sugar puss. I have a picture of him I might show you sometime. In a football uniform. Very collegiate. As the quaint old phrase went in my day.
You haven't kept a picture of him all these eons.
Oh, yes, all these eons. Dear, why don't you scram in a quiet way? I'm terribly busy.
I see. Well, I wouldn't dream of being in your way. Perhaps you'd like me to get out of the house completely.
Well, of course not, dear. I just...
I'll go over to Gloria's. She doesn't mind having me around.
My, how sensitive we are today. Let me see. 8 sheets, 12 pillowcases, 17 bath towels. Oh, I wonder what's keeping that laundress. 4 wash rags, 6 napkins, 11 face towels. Hello? Oh, hello, Woody. Has Petunia left yet? Just left, eh? Well, I'm afraid I can't wait for her. I guess she'll know what to do about stretching the curtains. I'll leave a note. Thank you, Woody. Where was I now? 5 dish towels, 8 pair of socks. Oh, I'll never get away. Hello? Oh, hello, Mrs. Cambridge. Oh, those old clothes for the club rummage sale. I have them already, but I have an appointment. Oh, your house? Yes, I could drop them off there. I'll just stick them in a suitcase and leave them with you. That'll be fine. Oh, I'm an ick to have forgotten. Ick, Mrs. Cambridge. I-C-K.
Mother, anyone home? Isn't anybody home?
Ho, ho, ho! Smiling Randolph Foster's home. If you consider that anybody, and there are sometimes I think you don't.
Where's Mother?
I don't know.
Oh, I remember. She had a date at a hotel with a glamorous man.
Mother did? At a hotel?
Yes.
How long is she going to stay?
Well, how should I know?
She had a pretty big suitcase with her.
A suitcase, Randolph. Oh, Randolph, She's eloped.
Oh, Mother? You mean with a man?
Oh, Randolph, how are we going to break the news to Father?
Well, imagine seeing you two here at my factory. Not only my son, but my daughter. This is indeed a surprise. Wait here in my office just a minute, you two. I have to go and tell my stenographer something. Be right back.
Let me do the talking, Randolph. I'm more tactful.
I think this is a bunch of bunk, Judy. I've always trusted Mother.
You wouldn't talk that way if you'd heard her raving about this man this morning. Why, from the moment she heard his voice, she was a dead pigeon. He lured her right over the telephone.
I bet all he lured her into was buying a vacuum cleaner.
Poor Father. He'll be utterly stricken. Oh, here he comes. Brace yourself, Randolph.
I'm braced.
All right, kids. I'm free now. Tell me what's on your minds and how much it's going to cost me.
Father, there's something we've got to tell you.
Hmm?
But before we say anything, there's something you have to promise us.
All right, I'm in a good humor.
I want you to promise you won't shoot anybody
Shoot anybody?
with a gun. At first it'll be difficult, but later on, when you become rational, you'll thank me for making you refrain from taking another's life.
Say, what is this?
Father, prepare yourself for a terrific shock. I wish I could spare you, if only for a few more hours of happiness.
Judy, you've spared me long enough. I haven't got a few hours to be spared. I've got a sales meeting in a little while, so stop sparing me any longer and tell me quick.
It's about somebody very near and dear to you.
For the love of heaven, I don't want to play guessing games. Who's sick? Come on, let me have it.
Well, nobody's sick at all, Father. It isn't a question of illness. It's something else entirely.
Judy, if
Father,
you don't...
Mother eloped with another man.
What?
Oh, Randolph, how could you say such a thing before I prepared Father properly? Oh, Father, I feel dreadful. I meant to break it to you gradually. I wanted
What the
to...
Sam Hill are you prattling about? Did you come down here to tell me a fish story like this? Your mother would no sooner elope with another man than I would.
And I couldn't see you eloping with another man. I've been telling Judy that
It's true, Father. I heard her personally on the telephone saying she'd meet him at a hotel. And then she went off with a suitcase.
Well, he's probably a wholesale furrier, and she's meeting him there to... Why, she was saying the other day she wished she could get a fur wholesale.
The suitcase, Father.
Well, she's probably carrying her knitting in it. Lord only knows what women are likely to carry their knitting in these days.
I'm sorry, Father. But I personally heard her say he was glamorous. Can you stand this, darling? I heard her say she never could forget him, and that his image was engraved indelibly upon her heart.
Indelibly upon her... Your mother doesn't talk that way.
Not to you, Father, but she did to Sidney.
Sidney? Sidney who?
I can't remember his last name. I think it began with an H.
Sidney Holland?
Yes, Father. He's the man. So you knew about it all these eons.
Knew what?
That she cared.
Cared my eye, that fat fool from Ashtabula, Ohio? He's got ears that stick out like...
Mother thinks he's handsome.
Handsome? Sidney Holland? Flat feet, couldn't even get in the Army in 1918.
Well, Mother has a picture of him in a football uniform.
Football. That's a good one. I'd like to see Sidney play football.
Up until now, I too thought Mother had gone to see a wholesale furrier carrying her knitting in a suitcase. But in view of your remarks about Mr. Holland, Father, ugly doubts are beginning to rear their fat heads with ears that stick out like...
Be quiet, Randolph. Father, I suggest you come home now and try to get some rest. I'll do the driving. Randolph and I will help you out to the car.
I'll do no such thing. I'm staying right here. The whole thing's perfectly ridiculous. I don't believe a word of it. Your mother would no more look at Sidney Holland than... Miss Henkel, I'm going home for the day. Break my appointment. Come on, children. We'll go home. I don't know why I'm doing this. Your mother's probably there baking a cake or something.
Just lean on Randolph and me as you walk, Father.
Well, you can always depend on one thing. When Judy gets going, things really happen. For example, that was Judy's idea of how to break a bit of news gently. We'll see the results of that gentle treatment in just a moment. But right now, here's a bit of news that doesn't need to be broken gently. It's about how to get double value in toothbrushes. You see,